This morning, I just want to start on the fact that I have been saying for years, I think since about 2011, I've been talking about the fact that when there are black teenage boys from poor homes in inner cities getting stabbed, we don't seem to care. It barely makes the front page. It barely makes more than a news in brief in the newspapers, even the local newspapers. Another black kid stabs another black kid. Hey ho, well, kids in gangs, those sorts of kids. We don't have to worry about them. Not our problem, is what the Nation says. We've been saying it for a long time, and I've been saying for 8 years now, when white middle-class girls start getting stabbed, then people will pay attention. And what a surprise. The horrific murder of Jodie Chesney, 17-year-old Girl Scout in East London, a nice leafy area. She got stabbed to death at the weekend on the same day as a straight-A student, Yousef Maki. And now the papers are paying attention. Her death warrants a front page picture, as does Yousef Maki's. Why? Well, because they are, people like us. Because the politicians and the journalists, who are the people who actually cover these stories and make these stories something that needs action to be taken about, they think, do you know what? This could now happen to my child. But the reality is it could always have happened to our children, because the spate of knife crime in our country is out of control. The number of under 16s being treated for stab wounds in hospital has nearly doubled in the last 5 years. It's terrifying. Well, look, we're not in the gun crime epidemic of America, but the knife crime epidemic is one that could affect all of us. Our child could be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the reality is that a lot of the children who have been committing these knife crimes and been the victims of knife crimes to this day, the ones who only merited a tiny little paragraph on page 42 instead of a front page story, actually, you know what? They could have just been in the wrong place at the wrong time. The trouble is they live in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're living on sink estates where joining a gang isn't about being the big I am. Joining a gang is about staying safe. It's about not being a victim of that gang. Carrying a knife isn't about trying to threaten other people. It's about trying to keep alive on your way home from school. If we don't tackle this problem and tackle it from left, right, centre and behind, we are going to see more of our youngsters being killed needlessly in this way. We need to tackle this at roots of like where the police are. We need to tackle it in the schools. We need to tackle it in the homes. We need the youth groups. We need everything. We need to do this a holistic approach to this issue, because otherwise one day it will be your 17-year-old that gets stabbed in a park. It'll be my 17-year-old who gets stabbed on the way home from school. And whether our child is deserving of page 42 little paragraph or a front page story or leading on a major website, well, that's going to be for us to decide. But every single one of those lives is worth the same.